As great as your efforts might be to create a fun and inclusive environment, there's always the possibility that you'll run into a difficult volunteer or a difficult situation that you're going to have to deal with. So let's talk about a few of the tools that you can use to deal with some of those difficult situations. One of the things you're going to want to remember is that volunteers are people as well. And by that I mean they may have different motivations. There might be things that drive them that are different from your motivations or what drives you. So it's important just to remember that fact. You also never know what someone is struggling with. You never know what someone comes into that space dealing with. It's important to be empathetic to that fact. And last but not least, always assume that people come into that space with good intentions. People that come to volunteer typically do so with the best of intentions, so try to keep that in mind. Now, as problems arise, it's important to deal with them as soon as they come up. If you don't, small problems could turn into bigger problems. If you don't deal with the small problem right away, it could become a really big issue. When you are dealing with those problems, it's really important to give specific feedback, specific to what the problem was, what caused the problem, or what you perceived the problem to be. Last but not least, pick your battles. There's some things that just aren't worth addressing. That's where you'll have to use your own judgment. But if you do feel like it's a problem worth addressing, you can use some of those tools. Now, one thing that you may want to try to do is remove a volunteer from the situation that caused that problem. If there's something happening that's causing an issue with them, it's always an option to remove them from that situation and reassign them to another task. Be flexible in that. Be as flexible as possible in how you move someone from one task to another if need be. So a couple of examples of things you might come across. Someone may not feel involved in the volunteer opportunity. They may not feel like what they're doing is important. So what you can do is remind them of the group purpose. Remind them of what you talked about earlier and the fact that you're there as a group to create an important impact and to reach a goal that will create an impact not only on the volunteers, but also on the community that you're serving. And remind them of that. Remind them of what the impact is that they are having. It's really important that you try to call someone by name if possible. It's very easy to address someone by name. It generally helps to make a connection as well. It's also possible that someone will be given a task and potentially find that they don't like that task. Again, it's important to remember that there's a group purpose at hand, and you can remind them of what that group purpose is, and again, remind them of the overall impact that you're having as a group, what that impact means to the betterment of the people that you're serving. Again, in this situation, it's important to be flexible. If someone doesn't like what they're doing and you have the option to move them to another assignment, of course it's best to probably do that. We want them to feel involved, we want them to be engaged. So these are some really simple tools that you can use to deal with any potentially difficult volunteers that you may come across.